This is Racing to Win, Hong Kong Racing's twice weekly preview show. We're heading back to Happy Valley for a 9-race program this coming Wednesday night. Great to have you on board for the show. I'm Tom Wood, joined here in the studio by Paul Ellie and Nick Child. And Nick, it's going to be a strange old Wednesday night because we've got no Zach Purton, no Joe Moreira, and no Karis Teton, so it's been a long time since I'd say that's happened.
Absolutely, Tom. Yeah, I imagine if ever. So, yeah, those three names certainly won't be in action come Wednesday night, but it opens up opportunities for one or two other riders for sure, and one man who's benefited is a new boy, Joe McNeil.
Yes, he certainly has, and we'll touch on the state of play with Zach Purton, also Hugh Bowman for that matter coming up shortly in the show. But Paul, a few newcomers that didn't get a run a couple of weeks ago when the meeting was cancelled with the weather, and a jackpot as well.
Yeah, good jackpot as well, and the 6-up win bonus, that's 2.4 million, so that should get up to around the 6 million mark. And as you say, there was a couple of first starters that didn't get a run like a couple of weeks ago. They're running here. Thinking of How Deep Is Your Love and Janu Flash sort of spring to mind as well. And a couple of others that have raced in other jurisdictions like Red Lion.
Yep, he joins us here in Hong Kong, does Red Lion. Of course, comes out of the race that the Hong Kong owners certainly like to try and pick a few horses from, that being the Britannia Stakes in the UK. Touching on the Jockeys Championship, Nick, and well, Zach Purton is streets clear of anyone else with a phenomenal win rate of 25%.
Yeah, it's quite something, isn't it, really? And I guess with no Joe Moreira here at the moment, and that has certainly paved the way for Zach to establish a decent lead. Obviously, Vincent Ho is riding extremely well at the moment. And I suppose the real sort of standout on that list, if anything, is Silvestre de Sousa. I mean, he hasn't been here half as long. He's missed a bit of racing, and he's already up to third in the Premiership.
Yeah, he's going really well, isn't he? And as you say, he's had a few suspensions thrown in there as well.
He's got another one coming up, I think, at the end of the month as well, does Silvestre de Sousa. So, yeah, he's up there into a third position as well, with Vincent Ho sitting in second. Right, jockey changes. Hugh Bowman was the benefactor of many of Zach Purton's rides for a Wednesday night, but that all changed on Monday afternoon when Hugh Bowman was listed as a close COVID contact. So race 1, number 4, Carry the Diamond, now Ruin Meyer. Universal Crown, Luke Ferraris. Leslie, Derek Long. Darcy Joy, race 4, number 2, Silvestre de Sousa. 8Z Torbjorn for Matthew Chadwick. Likewise, Gold Marquis, race 6, number 7. And further down, Vincent Ho picks up the ride on Nam Jong Sing's in the 7th race. Savaquin, Luke Curry, and Jai McNeil has picked up a good ride in the form of Comet Splendido in the final race of the night. Let's check out the meeting details for the City Circuit on this Wednesday night at Happy Valley for the 9 races. The rail will be positioned for B-course racing, and it is Japan night with the Japan Racing Association Trophy, race number 6, the trophy event, but we're previewing races 7 and 8 here on the show. Class 3, 1200 metres, and Class 2, 1650. The Kyoto Handicap Class 3 here, 1200, and Beauty Glory was a winner 3 runs ago, has come up with barrier 1, the £10 off his back, or Tuli Bagil for Luke Curry and David Hall. Nam Jong Sing's Vincent Ho, excellent pairs, a last start winner, he's put on £24. Red Lion, first up here for John Symes, drawn barrier 12, Happy Sharing. Comes to Happy Valley, does Happy Sharing, and he's to be ridden by Luke Ferraris. Our Lucky Glory ran a well last start. Master Tornado is having his second run here in Hong Kong. Stormtrooper, Telecom Speed, Compassion Spirit, and Super Dobbin hard to catch. Just a one-time winner for Tony Millard. Let's have a look at the speed map for our 7th race coming out of Happy Valley over the 1200 metres. And as we see them go from the start, Nick, Beauty Glory, you'd say, should be able to find the front with the claim from barrier 1.
Yeah, most definitely. He's in the right place, isn't he, to go forward. Obviously, Happy Sharing also drawn in a good gate in 2. So I think those two will go forward and duel from an early stage as far as who wants to go and lead this race. Nam Jong Sing's not drawn too badly there. Vincent Ho taking over on him. He's in gate 4. So again, he's well drawn, and the likes of Excellent Peers, who's been in great form, he'll take back behind the speed, I think, from gate number 7 and get plenty of cover there, Paul.
He should do, eh? The Tulabagil might be a little bit closer as well. He went right to the back last time. Horses like Red Lion, there's a query over him, obviously, because he's a first starter here in Hong Kong, but he's likely to go back, I think, from the widest draw there.
Righto, that is the speed map for the 7th race. Nick spoke about Ortuli Bagil. Well, he's coming into this race with Luke Curry on board for David Hall, and Nick was able to catch up with Luke down at the track on Tuesday morning.
Luke Bagil putting a really nice performance at a price last time out. Certainly looked to handle himself well around the valley.
Yeah, it was very good. You know, he got a long way back and rounded it off quite well.
You meet Excellent Peers again. Now, you were giving him £8 last time. You only give him £3 this time around. I imagine you'd be looking forward to having another crack at him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. You know, he's drawn a bit better tomorrow night, and hopefully he can race a bit closer to him. And like you say, he's a bit of a weight swing. So yeah, I think he should give him a shake.
An interesting sort of part of that race, Luke, and I'd like your opinion on it, of course, is at the 300 you almost got sort of intimidated wide, and then obviously the winner's got first run on you. Do you think that probably was the difference maybe between winning and losing, or at least getting that bit closer?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we just had to wait and come around rather than pick our way through. And the winner had a lovely run, but we were closing late. So yeah, I think with a bit better luck and like you say, the turnaround in weight, he'll be very hard to beat.
He's trialled since as well. What did you make of that trial?
Trialled nice. Yeah, it was just a tune-up for this week. But yeah, he trialled nice. Nothing too hard. But yeah, he gave me a good feel.
This is only his 6th run in Hong Kong. Did you feel now he's sort of getting the hang of things, this horse?
Yeah, well, he's still he's taken a little bit from reports from the stable to just calm down and get himself into the right headspace, and he seemed to be quite good the other night, and hopefully improves a little bit off that. But yeah, he's not far away.
Or Tullabegil in early bidding, currently at 5.7, and great to hear there from Luke Curry. Can have a look at the next replay for our 7th race, and it is Tullabegil back in the field here, but we certainly want to focus, Nick, on Excellent Peers, who had a lovely run round this night, compared to Beauty Glory, who was 3 wide to no cover, Stormtrooper, and there was quite a lineup sort of behind the first 3 or 4 in this race. Yeah,
there was. I mean, it's a competitive race. It's probably the form race really to focus on. Obviously, you mentioned Tullabegil there. He'll eventually swing wide and make his run for home, but as for Excellent Peers, I mean, he is a horse racing in fantastic form. Frankie's only had him for 6 runs. He's won 3 of them, and he's run second on the other 3. I think Tullabegil can get closer to him now because he's only got to give him £3 and not 8. But he certainly is the horse that they've got to beat, I think, Paul. Yeah,
I think this could be the Quinella, this one. He was taking ground off him as well, Tullabegil, but it's £5 difference this time, as you say. I don't know if it'll be enough. I'm going to stick with Excellent Peers.
He's third up here, Paul, Excellent Peers, and he's put on £24. Is his work been looking all right?
Yeah, the work's been very, very good. And looking at him, you wouldn't have think he's put on £24. Doesn't look like £24, but he's obviously a good doer, likes his food, and he's come out of that race well.
Don't we all? He is third up here, the son of Jimmy Chu, Excellent Peers. We can move on to the next of them, and it is Our Lucky Glory, who... has had the 1 win from his 9 starts here, Paul, was beyond midfield and wide, and stayed on pretty well in the end, the Brazilian colt.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? And he's been racing pretty well, this horse. His work's been good leading into it as well, so no issues there with him. Our Lucky Glory, I'm going to include him. I think it was a good run here. He's drawn wide, but he gets back anyway, and he'll be running on strongly.
Yeah, he's not doing a bad job, and he's still relatively lightly raced, all things considered, so he certainly gets his chance.
What about Happy Sharing? Nick, coming back to Happy Valley in the past, has had a few other minor placings, but you could argue he's certainly in career best form, this horse.
He's racing very well. Obviously, this run last time he's beaten the 3.5 lengths, but the win prior to that was very good behind beating Midori Beauty, and form around 1 or 2 others doesn't read too badly either. So, as you say, look, he's yet to win here, but he has run some good races in defeat.
Yeah, and he's drawn nicely. Barrier number 2, I think he'd be right on the pace. So, I'm going to include him in the numbers. I thought it was a nice enough run, as you're saying, 2 starts ago in particular.
Okay, there was Happy Sharing. Telecom Speed was also in that replay. Happy Sharing for Luke Ferraris and Pierre Ung. Moving on to one of our final replays, and we're looking here at Red Lion, and he's coming into this with 3 trials under his belt. He has had a trial after this one here, Paul, but this was probably the best of them. Yeah,
he's had the 3, as you say, £1,068 to go. I think just from the wide barrier draw, he's going to have to get back, so it's not really going to be... I don't think this race will be really run to suit. He did win on the poly track and then did win over 1,400 metres. Both his wins are over 14. This is a 1,200 metres. I think it's a starting point for him.
It is, yeah. I think the trips are a little bit on the sharp side for him, and obviously 7th in that Britannia as well. His run there was good without really threatening those ahead of him, so he's clearly a handy horse.
And that was behind a horse called Thesis, who was here, of course, with Richard Gibson, and was second to a horse called Ivy League, who's here in Hong Kong now as well. Final replay, Beauty Glory. It's going to definitely assist him, Nick, with the weight of his back in barrier 1. He should get all favours from there.
He certainly should, yeah. I mean, we've seen how, how good Angus Chung is. Very talented young rider, and I think think £10 coming off, he's certainly not going to have that claim for too long, that's for sure. But it does put him well in with £125 here, Paul.
Yeah, it definitely does. Look, he didn't have any luck last time from barrier 11. He's drawn ideally barrier 1. It's just how much pressure Happy Sharing puts on him early. But I think he'd be right on the pace from that inside draw in the apprentice claim.
Yep, that was a win 3 starts ago, which was first up for him. Took him a wee while to get that victory. Beauty Glory. Early favourite here, Paul. Excellent pairs despite the body weight. You think he can win?
Yeah, I think he can. I've got him on top. I think Talabagil's going to be the main danger, the obvious danger. I think these two can quinella the race once again. So 4 to beat 2. Our Lucky Glory's drawn wide but gets back and should get a bit of pace on this race, so should get the race run to suit. And Happy Sharing, one of those horses that will be on the pace. 4, 2, 7 and 6.
Yeah, I'll take Paul on here with the 2, Tully Gill, and there is a £5 sort of turnaround in weight, so I think it might just be enough actually. I thought last time he was doing some really good work late and an excellent pair, so as much as I'm a fan of his, I think Tully Gill can perhaps turn that form around. Beauty Glory in for 3rd, I think will run his race, and our Lucky Glory in for 4th, I think also deserves a chance in this for sure. 2, 4, 1 and 7.
That is a preview of race number 7, the Class 3 over the 1,200 metres. Up after the break here on Racing to Win. We preview race number 8, which is the Class 2 1650. The main event, all part of the 9-race card in Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Stay with us here on Racing to Win. "26 days away from Longjing HKIR 2022. We can't wait for the Turf World Championship coming up at Sha Tin in just a few weeks' time. As we continue here on Racing to Win, we build up to a preview of race number 8. It is the fast class of the night, the Tokyo Handicap Class 2, 1,650 metres. And at the top is Telecom Fighters, who got all favours in front and was able to hold on last start. De Souza rides from barrier 11. The Irishman, a last start winner, California Deep Shot, is trialled up at Chungfa. The Rock coming back from the 1,200 metres up to the 1,650. You got Everyone's Delight and Savaquin with the pacifiers coming off Luke Curry from barrier 10. Far Packing Award went from a rating of 59 to 86 last season. Mr. Ascendancy, So We Joy. Further down You're My Everything going to 1,650, and Tianchi Monster for Alex Lai, drawn at barrier number 3. Speaking of barriers, we can have a look at them coming out of the gates for the speed map for the 8th of the night over the 1,650 here, Nick. And as they jump, has Telecom Fighters got any competition for the lead?
I think he might have a little bit, yeah. Obviously, we know he likes to go forward. The Rock is a horse that can go forward. He's actually drawn quite well in 2, so wouldn't shock to see him quite prominent. And Everyone's Delight, he's drawn wide, so you can see him there out in the wing a little bit. He's going to have a bit of work to do early. That might just tell late with him. But yeah, look, Telecom Fighters, Paul, I think looks as if he's ideally placed, and we know he's got plenty of early speed.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah, I think Everyone's Delight will try and get across there as well, as you can see there. And California Deep Shot's always nice and handy. Savaquin, You're My Everything runs better when he's at the back as well.
Okay, we'll see what he can do at this time round at You're My Everything. As we move on to an interview here, we can touch on Ruan Meyer. His ride here is the Irishman. He was a strong last start winner at Sha Tin, and Nick was at the track Tuesday morning to have a chat with the Brazilian.
Ruan, the Irishman, is a horse that you won on last time out. Won a nice race as well at Sha Tin. We'll touch on that in due course. But he comes to Happy Valley on Wednesday night. He's clearly a very smart horse, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a very smart horse, no, Nick, and I'm very happy to keep his ride. And this time, his first time in Happy Valley track, but I believe after he win last time, he get more confident and he can come to this time. He's more informed and very confident.
Just talking of Happy Valley, Ruan, obviously he's not that big. He's weighing in at 1054 pounds. Do you think he's the type of horse that can handle the Valley?
I believe that because his action is a beautiful action, a big, long, straight, and he can travel nicely. He always like ride quiet and make he finish, and I believe he can handle the track very well.
The race he won last time was obviously of decent quality. It was a Class 2 at Shartin. They're never that easy to win. The form's working out well because Beluga ran third. He's won a Class 1 since, so I guess on form he's possibly the horse to beat, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, he's Sammy. I told you he's very nice horse. Ours he run the strong race, and I could won with him last time, so I believe he's starting to improve more. After the winner, get confident, he can show more his ability.
He's got £8 more to carry, Ruan. Do you think now he's got to a point where, the £8 isn't going to be too much of a burden for him?
Of course, a bit more pound is a bit more difficult, but I believe he's very big horse, he's big body, so not too bad for him.
How has he galloped since, Ruan? You've had a chance to sit on him a few times?
Yeah, I galloped him last Monday. He galloped very well, nice feeling, strong, and I felt he's great form.
He's got an entry for HKIR now. That's probably a little bit beyond him at this stage, but do you think if he comes through Wednesday and perhaps continues to progress that Connections might look at a race like that?
I believe that because he only second star, this Wednesday the third star, so he just get improve all the time, so I'm sure he can.
Great to hear from Ruan Meyer there with the Irishman, who of course was one of the leading contenders going into the Derby and the 4-year-old series last season. Francis Loy's got some good runners for Wednesday night, Paul. Gold Baby, I think he's probably going to be overbet the way he won last time out. He's very short and early betting. Gallant Waking, and we've touched on the Irishman there, but Rising from Ashes, not without a hope in that final race either.
All four have got chances, I think. All four have got good winning chances. I've got all four of them in. I think he's going to have a good night.
Yep, 3 of them last start winners as well, so they're all in super form.
Yep, for sure. Rightio, we can have a look at the replays here. And well, we've got Telecom Fighters here on the screen. He is towards the inside, but you can also take note in this race of Farfar, who was to his outside. Hasn't quite come up this prep yet, Nick Farfar, but Telecom Fighters just got everything handed to him on a plate last start.
He did, absolutely he did, and he's now gone up to a career high mark of 98, so things are going to get that little bit tougher, and I think there's enough pace in here that's going to sort of worry him, and he's going to need everything to go his own way. As for Farfar, he's run since, and look, I don't think the pace has suited him in his last couple. I think he'll get a better tempo this time.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He's run 3rd and 4th in his 2 runs this season, so he'll be fit going into this race.
Rightio, looking here at everyone's delight now. He's down on the inside also in this race as well as Farfar, and out wider is Savaquin, Paul, coming off a run on the all-weather.
Yeah, so he's coming back here as well. He finished 4th there. Look, the thing with Savaquin is he gets back, and he's got barrier number 10, so he does need a little bit of luck. We know he's got a reasonably good finish. I don't like everyone's delight in this race just because of the draw. I think he's going to have to work a bit harder.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Farfar's perhaps the one to take out of it. I know it probably doesn't flatter him greatly looking at that, but yeah, I think he's a serious chance.
Right here, looking at the Rock, Nick, they tried him over 1,200 metres at last start, and he ran 7th.
Yeah, it didn't go too badly actually. This horse, he's second up this time around, and he's got a pretty good record second up. He's had 3 goes. He's a winner and placed second on 2 occasions as well. So, and he's got course and distance form, Paul. So I think there's a big run in this horse this time around.
Yeah, there could well be. He has won fresh in the past. He's second up in this state as well.
California Deep Shot led up in this trial and was just beaten by a stablemate, Paul.
Yeah, look, it was under a reasonable hold this trial. He's been a little bit disappointing his last couple of starts. I thought they're stepping him up to 1650 on. Don't know if that'll totally suit him either.
Yeah, that's California Concord beating him in the trial. Look, he's trialled okay, but he's gone missing a bit in his 2 runs this season, so I think more is required. And well, I for one was certainly happy to watch him here, Tom.
Yep, he's on the inside there. As we look at the final 2 in this trial, we've got Mr. Ascendancy here, but also Nick is Packing Award. He won some tough races last season, coming from wide positions, did this horse Packing Award. Yeah,
he's done a tremendous job, and kudos to Peter Ho. He's not got a big team, but with this horse, he's got it going really well. Obviously, a bit of collateral for him. He beat Berlin Tango when we last saw him. Berlin Tango won that race that Farfar was 4th in last time, and I didn't mind the trial, Paul.
Yeah, for the trial was good. He goes in for me, and Mr. Ascendancy as well. From barrier number 5, he's going to get a nice run. I thought it was a better run from him last time.
Yep, he was a bit unlucky, Mr. Ascendancy, last start. It's anything but cut and dry, I thought, this one, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Irishman. No, I think he's a smallish horse. Comes out of a really strong form race where Beluga ran 3rd, Farfar 3rd up this season, Packing Award and Mr. Ascendancy. 2, 7, 8 and 9.
Yeah, I've gone the 7 here, far. I think this race will be run at a pace to suit this fellow, and I think he's the one to be with. Over the Irishman, who comes into it in good form. That form's been frank since. Packing Award's done a super job and continues to improve. And I'm throwing the Rock in as well. Expect him to run a big one here. 7, 2, 8 and 4.
Those are the boys' selections for race number 8, but there's 7 other races, Paul, to try and find the winners of it to Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Where are you going?
Look, first race, a couple of Class 5s to start. UW Brother has been running really well over 14. Thought coming back to 1200 will suit this horse, and he's quite well rated at the moment. Jazz Steed, another really well rated horse who's been downgraded, as his first start in Class 5 on the turf this time. Flaming Passion, another one, a downgraded horse as well. How Deep Is Your Love? I've liked his trials. He's a debutant. I've got him in there as well. I thought Comet Splendido could win for Jai McNeil in the last.
OK, it's that time of the show where we try and find the best, the value and the plays for the meeting. You're off first, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Irishman. I think he comes over a very strong form race. I think Happy Valley will suit him. He settled in well here in Hong Kong and did performed really well in the 4-year-old series, and Flaming Passion should be good each way price. He's won twice in this grade before in race 3, number 1. We'll either play in race 5 with Gold Baby, How Deep Is Your Love, and Hardly Swears 2, 4 and 7 QQP.
Yeah, my best for Wednesday night comes up in race 7, number 2, Ottala Begil. Hopefully he's improving at a rate of knots. Good run last time. I think he can turn that form around with excellent peers. So we'll put him in as the best. Long shot, race 5, number 7, Hardly Swears, racing well from a stable in form. And the excellent Harry Bentley has been booked to ride him. And race 9 is the play, 5, 6 and 7 for me in the lucky last.
OK, best for me is race 6, number 2, Adios for Matthew Poon and Frankie Law. I think he can win. He's trialled really well since his last start victory. Value, Savvy Sheik didn't get a lot of luck down the straight last time out at Sha Tin. He's drawn nicely here for Frankie Law. Has trialled nicely at the Valley too. And Adios, Gallant Waking and Elon, the play in race number 6, 2, 3 and 4. Paul will be in the Beer Garden next Wednesday night with the opening act, but big go this weekend, Sunday, Nick, with the Jockey Club trial races, Golden 60, California Spangle, and we wait news on Zach Purton and Hugh Bowman.
We certainly do, yeah, look, tremendous card, and I, for one, am really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to Wellington, actually. Really want to see him come out again as well in this one.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal so far, has Wellington, and of course a huge triple trio jackpot to chase down as well. That's been the show. Don't forget the first race coming through from Happy Valley Wednesday night at 6:45. Bye-bye.